Drogba indirdi ceza. Snyder. Snyder gol! Allah'ım gol!
Muslera! Fernando Muslera! Golün adı Muslera!
Zaniolo, Drogba! This is incredible!
Merhaba, hello, and welcome to episode 48 of The Lion's Den, a Galatasaray podcast done by the community, for the community. I'm Emre, and I'll be your host for today. Today, we have a lot to talk about, but we have one person that's finally joining back with us, and that's Salih. Salih's back. How you doing, Salih?
Thank you, Emre. Thanks for introducing me again. Glad to be back. Yeah, it's actually been quite a while now that I think of it. The last time was probably almost 2 months ago. But yeah, due to unfortunate circumstances, I couldn't always attend. But yeah, glad to be back. Glad to celebrate another win. Our first win, of course, in all those months. And I'm with the American boys today. Only Dutchy here, only European, only non-American. So let's get on with it. That's all I can say.
That's the best Americans.
Yes, sir.
We don't count Coach Jan today. You
Unfortunately.
couldn't attend due to some reasons, but he'll be back soon for our listeners.
We're looking forward to that.
For sure.
And Yasin, how you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Galatasaray's breaking records. I'm happy. Salih's here. Samet isn't here, which has nice
You must
perks
be happy
too,
about that.
right? You know, no guy to tease me on the podcast for half the episode. So that's always a nice thing. And Emre, happy belated birthday. Don't think that I wasn't gonna go without saying it on the pod. I know it's we try to be professional here, but we also care about each other. Your birthday was yesterday, but we're recording today, so happy belated. And you know,
Thank you.
yeah, for sure. How you feeling? You doing good?
Just getting older, whatnot.
Yeah.
Now people know my birthday. That's one thing they know about me. They know my name. Next thing you know, they're going to have my social security. Open up a bank account in my name.
Maybe-
Damn, Yasin, you throw me out there.
Maybe after the 100th episode, we'll talk about that. But yeah, no, sorry. My apologies.
Nah.
Wait,
You're fine.
as a non-American, what did you just say? Happy belated what did you say?
Belated.
Belated.
You guys don't know that?
Belated.
Oh, okay.
No.
Maybe that's not a common term for non-Americans. But yeah, belated is just, late birthday, whether it's 1 day, 2 days, whatever. It's just being late. Actually,
Okay.
yeah. What is it? I mean, is that just be late? Late. I actually don't know
Yeah,
how
like
that word is
belated.
formed. Yeah, anladın işte.
Honestly, I don't know either. We're not grammar professionals, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never heard of that. That's why I was like belated. I was like, okay. I mean, of course, I understood right away what it
Mhm.
does mean, but I've just never heard the term myself. We don't have that over here, at least in Dutch. So
Yeah.
Well, that's because it's Dutch. You know, like I've tried looking into the Dutch language. It's not only does it sound really like off, reading it is kind of, but again,
yeah, it's a
you,
hybrid.
you should see like Japanese and stuff, Chinese. So I can't complain.
Exactly. I mean, Dutch should still be pretty. I would say pretty doable because we do have a lot of loan words from English anyway. The grammar,
That is true.
Styles, a lot of things are shared, but I do agree that most people do find it sounding goofy. So, I mean, I have to give you on that one.
Is there a lot of slang words like in English, in Dutch? Do you guys have a lot of slang words?
That's a good question. A lot of slang words. No, it's actually mostly from the colonies. It would be usually like from the Caribbean that we use, or Suriname, Moroccan slang. Turkish slang was kind of in, but that was more when in the early 2000s. I don't think it's as cool anymore to use it. Kind of phased out. But yeah, English slang? No, I wouldn't say so. Rather than using English slang, it would be more like your sentences would be like 50% English itself. That's how the cool kids sound.
Do you like mix and match English
Exactly.
with Dutch. Sometimes sprinkle in a little Turkish in there, just
and
for
the
the
funny
sake of
part
it.
of that too is there are actually quite a lot of people who are against the anglicizing of the Dutch language. So there's actually conservative people who are really against that, and they want true Dutch words to be used instead of every fucking business term to be English or whatever.
People just hate the Anglos, huh? Jesus.
Yeah, it's getting a bit too much. I mean, it's like too intertwined, you could say, which is good on one hand, but I also understand the other part. They're losing a bit of their culture with that. Henne said this is not a history or culture class today. We're going to be talking about football, but before that, we have to delve into some news.
Well, we have a lot of news.
Yeah.
Okay, so Galatasaray have been very busy lately, guys. They've been putting out, events, auctions. So one of the first things they did was announce a special edition black jersey. You can find this on the Galatasaray website for 800 TL. That'd be 40 euros for our Europeans and, $42 for our North Americans or anyone that deals in US dollars. Proceeds of these sales will go straight to the campaigns organized by Galatasaray, the needs for the earthquake victims. You could also add your name and number for free, so there's no extra charge for any of that. Galatasaray is also, like I said, events. They held an auction where they raised 17,870,000 liras, which is 942,000 USD and 885k euros in the Galatasaray High School. And there's going to be even more auctions, separate auctions that are going for other items. And if you want to find these, you can go to artam.com, ARTAM.com, and search for Galatasaray. Yeah, what do you guys think about the ongoing efforts from the club so far?
Really good.
Yasin?
Really good. I mean,
Okay.
as a Galatasaray fan, it's always easy to want to buy a new jersey, knowing that buying a jersey means supporting my club. It means being able to rep my club. I'm a proud Galatasaray fan. I love repping my club whenever I can, whether that's collecting it for my drawer, right? But in this case, we have an extra reason to buy and support the club and having more jerseys. Having the proceeds of this jersey going straight to the earthquake victims is the easiest purchase I've ever made in my life when it comes to Galatasaray merchandise. And it looks sleek too. It's a black jersey. We don't always get black jerseys. I mean, maybe we do for the away ones, but they're not always very clean like this one is. You might have some differentiating opinions. Samet wishes that the center portion of it that says birlikte, which means together in Turkish, he wishes that was gray, so it was completely black and gray, like even cleaner than what it is now. That's fine, but I think it's a very nice little thing that they're doing. And like I said, for 40 USD, obviously everybody's financial means are different, but for 40 USD, it's not that bad of a purchase. And like I said, it's going to earthquake victims. So what better way to support the club and people who need help? So I love that. Saleh, what do you think about it?
People who need the help. Yeah, Saleh. What do you think about that? And also them going above and beyond, raising all this money in auctions. What do you think about what they're going above and beyond? Why do you think that Galatasaray is going above and beyond at this level?
It's basically to be the role model. That's the message that we're trying to portray to the rest of, in this case, Turkey or maybe the world who's watching along. And yeah, just like Yasin mentioned, we're already incentivized as fans to buy merch and, rep our club. But yeah, these purchases are pretty, you really have to hesitate about buying them. Of course, just like mentioned before, financial means can differ, but I think it's really good that they do it and on the auction for the people who don't know that yet, but it's not just Galatasaray merch they sell.
Mm-hmm.
We were just talking about it. Like, for example, you can also buy a jersey worn by Ronaldinho, signed by him as well. Stuff like that, which, you help both parties. You help and the fans who would maybe like these one-of-a-kind items. And the proceeds go to the earthquake. to the organizations who participate in this. So, is there really anything bad to say about it? I don't think so. I think it's really class by them, and I applaud them for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a class act, man. They were even selling Volkan Demirel's jersey. They were auctioning that off.
Yes, I was literally about to say that. Emre, go ahead.
No, it's nice to see that, we can come together as a country, right? Without having, without putting any politics or anything in it, just to help out victims of this of this disaster, essentially. And then and we can even invite this player, Volkan Demirel, who, I ask any Galatasaray fan, they all would say he's a bear, we hate him and whatnot, but really it goes to show you there's more to life than outside what happens in soccer, in football, right? So it's nice to see that these things can happen, these little things that lead to bigger outcomes can happen. And it's nice to see, one thing I do want to point out is it's not just the Galatasaray club, it's actually the people we have, the players. Dries Mertens and his wife, Catherine Kirchhoff, are going to host the SMS campaign for the earthquake reliefs in Belgium. Okay, so this club in its roots, in its players, it just has this quality, man, just wanting to do good, be the role model, like Yasin said. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So with that said, anything else you guys got, on your minds that you guys want to talk about before we head into the game?
We could talk about Patrick van Aanholt reaching an agreement with PSV that his loan will be extended until the 2023-2024 season. It's just a loan that works out for both parties. It's a bit sad that we just can't get a fee out of it, but on the other hand, he does hold a very valuable foreigner spot. He earns quite a lot if you compare to the rest of the squad. So I would say I would thank him for his services, thank him for the game that we always mention that we went to in Istanbul with the boys here. But yeah, in the end, I think it's a good deal. What else can I say about it? I don't know. I mean, what do you guys think about it?
I
don't care, but yeah, go ahead. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Sally, I think some people are going to be a little bit upset we didn't get a fee out of this. Whenever there's a sale, the first thing people think about and ask is how much? How much money did we just get for this player? It's not everything is going to be about generating additional revenue. Sometimes you have to be a little bit more strategic about it. As you said, Van Aanholt is a pricey player. He's getting old. He had good moments with us, but he doesn't really have a place in this team given the foreigner limit. And now the options that we have at left back, and we have Kazımcan coming up, and who knows, maybe there might be other players that we'd be interested in the future where we can't really afford to give Van Aanholt an opportunity to play. We've loaned him to a Dutch club that he's played with in the past. I'm pretty sure he's played with PSV before. And I think it seems like they're happy with him. And
I don't know how that's possible, but yeah.
I think we saw the opportunity, and there was probably ongoing communication where, listen, if you're happy with him, let's settle this right away. If you want to keep him again next season under similar terms, where you pay 100% or 70 or 50% of his wages, we'll accept it. Let's just get it out of the way. And one of the nice things about doing this nice and early before the transfer window even finishes or starts next year is you can start your plans accordingly. I think this goes to what we talked about last week, where we're looking at what we're going to do next window as soon as this last window finishes. We're already building the team and what we want to do. We're thinking about it. We're negotiating with teams and players, whether that's for contract negotiations, extensions with maybe Sacha Boey, which has been rumored before, or whether that's with PSG and Icardi and keeping him next season. And a guy like Van Aanholt, this is not something where you want to risk leaving until the end of the window, because God forbid he gets injured. God forbid he goes through a terrible form. Nobody's going to want him.
Then he's stuck in your hands.
Then he's stuck in your hand, and then you have to go through the whole process of paying a complete, paying all the salary just to get rid of him so he can go wherever he wants for free. So it's good that we got this done and out of the way. For the people that are upset that we didn't get a fee, which I don't think we did, because not only did we not announce a fee, none of our reliable sources mentioned one. That's A-okay, especially when you consider the amounts of money that we're rumored to get for our other players. This is going to look like a drop in the bucket of what we potentially can get in the summer. So totally fine. I'm glad we parted ways, because when I found out we loaned him for 1 season and then we had another season left with him, I was like, oh God, this guy might actually come back. So that's not longer a worry.
And what do we do with him then, right? Because
Yeah.
he comes back. What do we do? Like, do we just pull a Lines, just put him on the bench and, I don't know, make some fans feel sad about him that he doesn't play? Like, it will be a problem. It's good that we indeed have a grand strategy in mind and already have this sorted out. He'll be a goner by the end of next year.
Yeah.
Which is fine in, I think, everyone's books.
I think you actually...
Yeah, if someone actually...
Go ahead, Amir.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, if anyone actually watches him play, please let us know in, on Twitter, why PSV decided to extend his contract. I would love to know because I can't stomach the second or the reason to watch him.
Yeah.
If I would have to make an assumption, I actually, even though I live here, I don't follow the Eredivisie that much. But
Well, there you go. See, you don't even watch it.
No, I mean, I used to when I was a kid. I did follow PSV when I was really young, but those were the times with like players like Koku, Alex, Aruna Kone, Fofa. Like they were a very long time ago. I think it was like 2005, 6. But from what I remember from PSV is that they're a very young team and also like ultra attacking. So I think the reason why they just got him is basically to just have experience in the back. And even though we might not find him as suitable going forward, Van Nistelrooy probably has something in his mind where he does work out. Because when I look at the statistics, his performances don't even look that bad. Looks pretty decent. He had an assist not too long ago too. So
we just cursed with Dutch players. Is that what it is? Halil, Van Aanholt.
I mean, Halil
Except
is,
Snyder, but in recent times, just seems like
okay,
Dutch
okay.
players with like Dutch roots. It's just not working out for us.
Schneider was basically Turkish when he was here, anyways. Fener
Yeah.
Lama and all that. He was on commercials eating lama, junchi, köfte, drinking
All
Turkish
those
soda.
kebabs made him
all the kebabs.
Turn him into a Turk.
He was basically Turkish.
He started playing the keman as well. He was playing the keman at one point.
Right. Oh my God, that was legendary. Yeah. Good times.
Good times.
Yeah.
All right, lads. I think it's time to talk about the main dish today. Since we're talking a lot about food. Galatasaray game we played at home. Kasimpasa 1-0 was the final scoreline. And the goal was scored by our none other than Nicolo Zaniolo, our recent transfer. We had a lot of suspicions when he came here. Would he play? Is he injury prone? Is he here for, just to lay back and just chill? No, this kid is actually going off. And I love to see it. Who wants to take us in?
Yeah,
the game?
I'll start. So, of course, before we get into Zaniolo, just to set the scene a little bit, we played Kasımpaşa today. And not only did we play Kasımpaşa, we played our old, very familiar captain, Selçuk İnan. He is now, for those who don't know, he is a coach of Kasımpaşa. And they actually made some moves this past window. But looks like he's got a little team going over there. But we'll start with the most important team, and that's ours. Our lineup consists of Muslera, who returned from injury. I mean, if you think about it...
What did I say about it? What did I say?
You said the injury was not going to be as bad as the rest of us thought, and thank God you turned out right, man. Because when he got injured and he got stretchered off that last game, I was like, oh God.
I said he'd be back in a month.
Yep, and
maybe a month and a half.
And that's exactly what happened.
He played today.
Yeah, so Muslera, captain, started and keep. On the right side, obviously, Sacha Bowie, Victor Nelson, Abdülkerim Bardakçı, and then we had our new guy, Sam, play left back. And again, for those who don't know, he counted as a Turk, or I should say, an additional foreigner, which was allowed. So normally we're allowed to have 8. Now we can play 9 after the earthquake for the rest of the season. In the midfield, we had Lucas Torreira, Sergio Oliveira, On the wings, we had Yunus Akgün and Kerem. In the middle, we had Juan Mata, as Mertens is out with injury. And up top, we had Mauro Cardi. Now, this lineup, a lot of people had some different formulas going on in their mind ahead of the week. A lot of hype, impatience. You know, we were out last week when everybody else was playing. We're the most informed team in the league. And we just broke the record for now 14 games in a row. Did you guys expect this lineup today? Emre, maybe start with you. What do you think of the lineup?
No, when this lineup came out, I didn't feel good. Like there was something, you know, when you get pain in your stomach where it's just like this dread feeling.
Yeah.
Because I knew from the get-go that this team would be a little, let's just say it would be bulldozed by Kasımpaşa, because Kasımpaşa is a very physical team. You can see when they came out from the gates, they were pressing. They were like literally mauling our players down. And Mata, look, Mata has history, but I think he's just out of it. And like starting him along with Yunus, both very fragile players against this very physical Kasımpaşa, really kept us from attacking, from doing anything, because let's just be honest. I don't know if Yunus is just the friendly kid who, like, he shows up only to play friendlies, because I don't know what it was. He just could not get past any of Kasımpaşa's players, any of them. He did not make one single dribble past one player, because I don't like physically. He just doesn't have that capability. That's what it looks like from, you know, the naked eye. And so what I was hoping was for him to start with Zaniolo. I understand he didn't start with him because Zaniolo didn't have that match fitness going on. Okay, Rashica would have been a better option then. But then you have the idea of, you know, who's going to play in the midfield, you know? But today, what I saw was Rashica actually has some sort of capability to hold down in the midfield, because what we saw is in the second half, both Mata got subbed for an injury. It was expected. He just could not keep up with the pace and the physicality. And you see he got strained with some injury. He got off. And Yunus got subbed off after the 45th minute.
Yeah.
And you see us starting to get some rhythm going once we have some physical players like Rashica who can hold the ball, dribble, pass, do something, and Zaniolo. So I think the starting XI was definitely off from Okan Hoca. But I like, he was experienced enough to see that, okay, this is not going to work out. Let me change something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I have to say. Salih, if you want to take it from there, put your 2 cents into it.
I think if I'm going to speak for Yasin too, I think no one expected this lineup. Not that it's like completely wild or anything, but I just wasn't expecting, like, for example, Mata to start. Like, in my lineup, in my head, I was expecting, for example, Kazımcan to start on the left. He's been back from injury. He's been, you know, on the bench for quite some time. And I would say he's our first choice left back, even though he's really young. But he didn't start. But Sam, okay, you know, we'll have to see how he is. But then up front, I was more so expecting maybe a bit... Of course, hoping that he would start with Zaniolo in the 10 and then Rashica on the right, with Kerem being on the left. That's what I expected, with Icardi obviously on top. What we did get, just like you mentioned, is just Mata, which I was most surprised by, as in, I just don't think he's really a starter. He's, just like you mentioned before, he's not really a physical player, he can't really keep up. And due to him being injured, Yunus had to suddenly play in the 10, which, just like you mentioned before,
he
as
lost
well,
completely at that point.
He couldn't, because any time he got the ball, he pretty much just turned around and passed it back. He didn't really try to go forward because he wasn't comfortable with doing that. So on Yunus, I don't know if it's him being repositioned what made him like not play that well, or just him not being, you know, at the races today.
Yeah.
But that's just, that's the analogy I got from our lineup and how it worked out in the first half.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yasin, do you think? Okay,
lastly, what I wanted to say, it also the first half, or just game in general, just really reminded me of how we started the season in general.
Mm.
Like we had the ball, we were the more dominant side, And I never really felt threatened by I won't say Selçuk. I don't know why I specifically want to name him. I wasn't really threatened by Kasımpaşa, but I also didn't really see us scoring. We missed so many like shots again. We only had like 2 or 3 on target. The first one came, I think, only about in the 30th minute. Then the crowd got a bit wild, but
that was Torreira's first shot, like at the goal. I don't think it was on target, but it was like the first shot at all that seemed dangerous to begin with.
So a whole mouthful, but Yasin. Now on to you. What did you make of it?
I just like you guys. I mean, I don't think anybody can really disagree with it. Juan Mata starting today was a big shocker for me. And I think
why was it a shock to you?
What has he proven so far, whether that's during the league or last 13 game stretch in the preseason, or even just the recent friendlies heading into this game in the last month? What has he really proven to say that I should start today in maybe what's supposed to be an easy game, which of course I think we maybe got ahead of ourselves too. But
oh yeah, definitely.
You're coming back from a long stretch, and it's never going to be an easy game. Of course, as fans, we start to think 5, 6, 7-0 the night before, just from the pure excitement. Zaniolo added to that as well. We start saying, will he score a hat trick, this, that. You get excited. But nowhere in anybody's mind was Juan Mata, because he just has not proved anything. And the only reason why I can think that he starts Juan Mata is because he is, in theory, the next guy in the pecking order and that position that actually has familiarity with that position to play it. You know, there were rumors we tried Zaniolo in practice this week at number 10. There were rumors we tried Yunus, and that the coach was going to make a decision between the two. So in our minds, and it made sense, one of them was going to start in the midfield at 10, and the other was going to start on the wing. And neither one of them happened. And Emre, I think you made a great point about, you know, the physical differences, the size and strength of Juan Mata, add to that Yunus Akgün. You know, the two of them combined together, just it lacked that extra strength, that extra push when we needed it, especially with how Kasimpasa ended up playing, which again, you couldn't really say is a surprise. They just sat back. You know, they
didn't come to play at all, bro.
I know, and I hate to see that. Sometimes I understand it. You know, these coaches,
football terrorism.
It's football terrorism, and you know they're concerned about staying in the league, and I understand it. They tell themselves the only way that I'm going to get points against teams like Galatasaray is that I have to make sure that they don't score. That because likely I'm not going to score, and we saw that they were barely a threat in the attack. And the only times that they did attack was probably because we were caught sleeping and so worried about trying to penetrate their last line of defense. But you know, it's hard to see. It's not great to see that. You know, you see coaches like Farioli at Alanyaspor who most of the time like to play attacking football. Sometimes his team got absolutely wrecked because of it. Alanyaspor was a funny team. They either play really nice football and they win 3-4-0, or they bring games to a close call, or they just get destroyed. And they get destroyed because they try to play attacking and they just don't have the players to play that type of football. But you got to respect the coach for trying, right? He's trying to play football. You respect that. What Selçuk did today, it's very difficult to respect it, is a nice way of putting it. But I also want to call out Yunus Akgün because you both mentioned him. The guy that he played against, so he's playing right wing. And when you play right wing, you play against the left back of the other team. The left back of Kasımpaşa is 16-year-old Yasin Özcan. 16 years old. Not to discredit the kid, he looks really good. He scored a freaking banger like a month or two ago. I forget against what team. The kid looks good. He looks promising. It makes me want to say we should get him and compete with Kazımcan at left back position next season. But that doesn't mean that Yunus Akgün should be zero threat against a player of that caliber and experience. Yunus Akgün looked lost on that side. And in forums, you know, I see people saying that, you know, Yunus Akgün had to switch to number 10, a position he's not familiar with. Before he switched, he didn't look good. After, he didn't look good. The problem is, for me, and I'm curious what you guys think about it too, because I really do want to spend a little time talking about Yunus Akgün today, because for me, I had a lot of expectations for a long time about Yunus Akgün. After today, not to say I lost hope. I never want to lose hope on anybody that quickly, but I'm actually kind of concerned now, because this is the opportunity. The coach is giving it to you. We just brought Zaniolo. You have Kerem. You have Barış Alper, who's been working his ass off to get minutes in this team. You have Rashica, who's a pretty damn good winger, even though some people might disagree. And the coach plays you. He says, Yunus, we don't even need you on the field as a Turk, but I'm still going to play you because, he's done decent performances in the friendlies. He starts him. He gives him the opportunity to prove himself at home. And he does not look interested today. A lot of the time he's walking, how Arda Turan has that popular walk with his hands and his shoulders wide, like he's the Adam on the field. Yunus Akgün does that. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but I hate it so much, by the way. Yunus Akgün does this on the field. I'm like, Yunus, I love you. You're a child of Galatasaray, a youth product, and everybody has high expectations from you. You played incredible at Adana Demirspor last season. Good for you. But you need to step it up. He was slow in making decisions today. I don't know. I just was not convinced with his performance today, and he can do 180 next game and play really good. But what did you guys think of Yunus Akgün? Were you guys disappointed as much as me, or do you think I'm being harsh?
Look, if every game was a friendly, Yunus would go for 100 million euros, Len. Okay, but it's not. It's not a friendly. You're playing against Kasımpaşa. It's not the best team in the world. You're playing against a 16-year-old left back. All right, he's doing well, but you're Yunus Akgün. You slayed last season at Adana Demirspor. So what's the problem? What this tells me is you're not confident. You can't handle that jersey that you're wearing. Abicim, what is so hard about making a pass straight in front of you? What is so hard about taking the ball and slightly dribbling it towards the goal? What is so hard? If Barış Alper can do it, and I'm one of his biggest critics, why can't you? You have all this expectations. I get it. There's pressure on you to perform, but to get lost in the game, just not even exist, not take any responsibility onto yourself to perform is a shame. Is a shame of what we expect from you. Is a shame of what you have to offer. In the beginning of the season, we were slamming Kerem. We were saying, "Oh, he doesn't have that skill ceiling that Yunus Akgün has." You know what? Kerem looked like damn Messi today, bro. Did you see the passes he gave to Icardi?
Incredible.
In that first half?
Incredible.
Bro, Kerem tries, bro. Kerem takes responsibility like a captain, like a true player of Galatasaray.
Yes.
Even though he knows that, if I screw up here, I'm going to get flamed more than anyone else on his team, despite me trying the hardest.
Yeah.
Yet Yunus doesn't take any responsibility. Always plays a safe option, doesn't try to go and, track back and do anything. And bro, you have your wing consists of Torreira and Bowie. You have these players on your side of the wing and you can't do anything. Meanwhile, Kerem is stuck with Oliveira and a new left back every other game, but yet he's able to do something. Why can't you do anything?
Yeah.
Please explain this to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's I don't want to lose confidence and hope in him, but today I'm like with you, I'm coming to the realization is that he just can't handle Galatasaray. The pressure's too much for him. I think he's just scared of taking on pressure.
It's just when a player underperforms, I would say the first, maybe a bit generous, but the first 4 or 5 games, you'll be okay, maybe it's just not being used correctly, right? Maybe there's some talents that we just haven't seen yet. But once it gets beyond that point, you start to take responsibility as a player. And just like you mentioned before, he just looked just so down. And the weird part for me is mostly he's a youth product. We're playing at home after a month and a week of not having a single game. We're actually in a very good run. There's no reason to be not excited. But he just didn't show it. He had no fire, just nothing going on, and therefore he was also rightly subbed off after the first half. That's what I had to add on that. Not much more else to say. You guys already hit the nail on the head. No, actually, I don't know the saying, but whatever. Yeah, basically that. That's what I.
Saleh, what you think of the change that we did make? So Yunus was brought to the midfield when Juan Mata got injured, and then Rashica came on early, and he took that right wing spot from Yunus. What do you think of Rashica's performance? Not just the rest of that half, but the rest of the game as our right winger. Did you notice a difference in how we attacked and the performance that we got from the right side before and after Rashica? What do you think of that?
I think it was a massive difference. Rashica added. I think he was actually probably our best sub, even though he didn't score. I also know he played for the longest, of course, but he looked really on. Like, this is basically what you wanted to see from Yunus from the beginning. He was really direct. And I mean, what else can I say? He, of course, assisted the goal as well, but he looked really good.
He's not even playing in his real position.
I know he should be on the left, but the thing I wish with Rashica, and I think that's the main criticism with most fans, is I wish these performances were just a tad bit more consistent. Because if so, we got a world beater. He looked really good today. Like, I don't have really any criticism on him for today.
Like, Yunus, how can Yunus not see what Rashica's doing and say that, oh, this is what I gotta do? How can you not track back and try to help Bowie? Bro, you know how many times I saw Rashica going back to help Bowie? Or when Bowie was caught out of place, Rashica was there in his place. Where are you, Yunus? What are you doing, bro?
Yeah.
Do you want to go back and be an Anadolu player? Is that where you want to be? Is that where you set your sights? Because that's where you deserve to be. Not in Europe playing at some of the best clubs. No, you deserve to be a first player. I mean, not to look down on Adana Demirspor or whatever, the Anadolu teams. But as a Galatasaray player, if I was a Galatasaray player, I would strive to be the best and try to, go to Europe, right?
Yeah.
Because I would want to do good at this club and try to get,
your move.
Because going down from Galatasaray is kind of like a spit in the face to us. Because bro, come on, you made it here. We investing time into you because we thought you have the potential, right? But that doesn't mean players from Anadolu teams are bad, right? Because who do we get from Anadolu's clubs, Konyaspor, that actually put in that insane performance today?
Abdülkerim.
Abdul fucking Kerim.
Or Tank.
Dude, Abdülkerim is on crack. I don't know what happened to him, but he's on crack today. Who was it against? Was it against Koita?
Koita. Yeah.
His 1v1 against Koita where he sprinted and pushed him off the ball and the whole stadium went wild, man. Wild. That stadium was put half to sleep, but that whole action there fired everyone up.
Yeah. That was insane.
Look at this, man. This is what you need to be doing, working hard. Everyone was thinking, oh, what are we going to do without Marcao? What are we going to do without Marcao? I haven't thought about Marcao for a single second.
Hell yeah.
A single second for the past, 10, 15 games. Okay? That's what you need to be doing, Yunus. You have to make me not think about other players. You have to make me not think about, oh, I wish Rashica was playing or Zaniolo was playing right now. Abdülkerim. Abdülkerim was your man.
Yeah, man.
For your homework.
It was. I'm really happy it's paying off. He's been, besides the second game where he had a very big error. I think it was Giresun, right?
Giresun, yeah, that was our only loss at home.
Besides that, he's been just really rock solid. And like you mentioned before, I don't miss Marcao at all. Okay, of course you miss him a bit because he was a bit of a dog himself, He he liked to hype the fans up, but he was really good defending, going forward. Bro, at some moments he was at the opponent's corner, so I was like, wait, what the hell is he doing over here? He's further up than Sam in this case. But he's the complete package. I like him so much. What else can I say about him? His long balls, tackles, passing. His technique actually surprisingly is pretty good for center back too.
Yeah.
I don't feel that worried when he's on the ball. Unlike Sam, I know he hasn't done anything wrong, in my opinion, today. Like, he had a pretty okay game. But still, when he's on the ball, I feel low-key pretty worried. He doesn't look good on the ball. Abdulkarim, on the other hand, looks really steady.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't want to approach him if I was an attacker.
Yeah. And just to add on to that, I'm glad you brought up Sam and Abdulkarim in the same sentence. Abdulkarim, there were a few times where he was going down the left side with the ball, dribbling, doing his thing, and he was just not left with a lot of options to pass. And sometimes he lost the ball. Sometimes he forced an extra dribble when he didn't need to, and he lost the ball because of it. And, some people might call it out. If you look at it from a statistical standpoint, he maybe lost more balls than usual. But I tie that to the chemistry or lack of chemistry between him and Sam. And that leads to my criticism of Sam. And, I think we should talk about it too. It's his first game today, official game. He started. And, Okan Buruk, coach after the game, said, he played pretty decent defensively. He did what we expected. And offensively, I believe he said he's going to, we're going to figure it out. He was not bad, something like that. But it's you can tell, like, the runs he makes, the way he gets back, the bindirme, the runs, overlapping runs that he makes, they didn't feel quality.
It just isn't it.
Exactly. Summit during the game, he made a comment about it, saying, like, you can tell he's just not the same quality as everybody else, and it's 100% true. He's definitely an outlier. We criticize Yunus as much as we just did, rightfully so. I agree with everything Emre just said, and maybe he was a bit harsh. I don't think he was harsh. I think Yunus deserves the criticism he just got, but still, like, Sam, even though he didn't play a bad game, he stuck out even more to me because he just didn't feel right there. And maybe it's gonna be a matter of time. Maybe Sam will figure it out. He has to figure out his relationship with Abdulkarim. He has to figure out his relationship with whoever's playing on the left wing, the midfield. Maybe he'll figure it out, but I wasn't that convinced. I wouldn't be upset if he doesn't play. I wouldn't be upset if Kazımcan plays over him. I think Kazımcan should play over him if he's healthy, but I didn't really love his performance, and I think, Abdulkarim could have played even better if he had maybe Leo Dubois on the left side, which I think should be the case next week. But what did you guys think of Sam? Were you happy? Were you think it's okay given it's his first game? You guys have any thoughts on that?
I just mentioned it, but exactly the same as you. Like, he didn't do anything wrong really, but just the eye test, it just didn't pass it. It looks so, not extremely clumsy. It's so weird to put it.
He looked uncomfortable the whole time.
Yeah, it looked off to me, really off.
Like, the ball's coming to me. Shit, what do I do? Okay, I'll do this. And the ball is just like a simple ball that's getting passed to him. He'll either like mess it up and it goes out into, touch, like a throw in, or it's like somehow, some way the Kasımpaşa player goes around him and ends up with the ball when he should have had the ball, like, easily, right? But yeah, like, my question is, do you guys, like, does he make you miss Van Aanholt, for example? Would you keep him over Van Aanholt?
If he was also considered a Turk in this case, right?
Yes, let's say he was.
It's hard to say. It's just one game. But actually, that's really difficult to answer. But I would then probably take Van Aanholt, I would say, if he's also considered sort of as a Turk, just because of his CV, right? That's my only reason, because I haven't seen enough of Sam. I know he played at Hatay, but I didn't really follow him that much. I know John really finds him, dog water, but
I'm with him on that one.
Yeah, so far he's correct. But I would probably keep Van Aanholt. But just because of the experience.
Yeah.
That's my only reason. If he doesn't go forward, again, we all know that, right? If he doesn't have to deliver a ball or give that final pass, he's all right. Defensively, he's pretty decent. It's just going forward.
Are you talking about Sam or Van Aanholt?
Van Aanholt in this case. Van Aanholt.
It's interesting.
Look,
you
it's
say
his
that.
first game.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna give him some more time, but
Yeah.
I honestly I was expecting Dubois to play today, Yasin. I don't know why Sam played.
Me too. Me too. You know, you didn't. Given the rest of our starters, you know, from a Turkish point of view, we had Kerem, Yunus, and Abdülkerim. You didn't need to play Sam. I actually am fine with him starting because he's a new player and you want to figure it out now rather than later. You know, now it's kind of like a trial period for the coach and our team. You know, he needs to.
It's Kasımpaşa at home.
He needs to, you know, Salih made a good point. It felt like the beginning of the season. In a way, it is. After a month, almost a month and a half of not playing, you need, with the new additions that we have, even though it's not a lot, you know, people's forms have changed naturally because it's been so long, but also because it's midway point of the season. He needs to figure out that starting 11 again. And I think today, as much as it was a difficult game, it wasn't a fun game to watch. It was a butt-clenching game,
definitely
very
not.
stressful. We almost lost 2 points today. It was not fun, but I think it was a very good game for Okan and his assistants to take lessons from. Not that they made mistakes. I don't think Okan necessarily made any mistakes today, maybe apart from Mata. Even that, I understand why he did what he did. But there's a lot that we learned today. And one of that is Sam. And, you know, it showed again, just as much as we saw how important Mertens is to our midfield.
That's what I was going to say.
I think you saw how important Leo Dubois makes of a difference on the left side in our attack. And if we don't need to play Sam in that left back position because of the Turkish rule, and let's accept it, that's why he's here, then you play Leo Dubois. And I think Leo Dubois will continue to play as long as there is that room on the team, on the squad for initial foreigner. The only people that's going to cut him in that foreigner rule is going to be, you know, making a decision between him and Rashica, him and, you know, Zaniolo, if he's fit, him and, you know, basically the rest of the guys are all pretty much guaranteed. So, yeah, big difference. Big difference. I think we could have really done a much better job in the attack if we had a better left back with an attacking mindset. There were many times where Sam could have just take that ball, play the ball quickly forward or take a dribble or so, and he didn't. He played it safe. But again, that might just be because his first game. So time will tell. No need to be harsh on that, but it is worth pointing out that he didn't look great. But not that big of a deal.
But again, he's just a squad player, right? I don't expect him to be starting every game from now on anyway.
That's
He'll
true.
just come on for like the last few minutes just to see the game out. That's how I see it. That's also why it's interesting why he started, because no one expected it, but there you go.
Right.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Maybe on to a different player.
Yeah.
I was going to say, it wasn't only Sam that was, you know, kind of underperforming today. We saw the midfield kind of underperform today as well with the lack of creativity, you know, because the only creativity we saw today was mainly from Yunus, at least for the first half. We saw how crucial Mertens is to this team, and that's why I've been asking for a backup for Mertens, because I don't see anyone on this team that can like straight up replace him, not replace him, but back him up if need be for situations like this when he's not available. And you see it, you know, because who would you think, you know, oh, that guy, he'll do fine. No, there's not a single person. Mata, no, not for me. Zaniolo, I'd rather have him on the wing because that's where he usually plays, but he is said to be able to play in the midfield. And Sergio, okay, so there's a lot of people that are divided between him playing good today and him playing bad. For me, he was like sort of in the middle. Salih, what do you think about the midfield today in general, Torreira, lack of Mertens playing, and Sergio in particular?
Mertens has been mentioned before. I think that's a huge miss. The amount of work Mertens puts in compared to Mata is just like night and day. Be it defensively, building up, going forward. So that was already the biggest miss, but we already mentioned that.
And he's
let's just-
35. This guy's 35.
This kid. Yeah, exactly. Oh, I have to cough. So, okay. But our two defensive options, Sergio and Torreira. I think the Torreira one is a bit less controversial. I just think he also didn't have a great game. Normally sweeps everything around, and again, not that we were really on the back foot, but his impact on the game just wasn't as big. I think his biggest impact to me was just, well, having the first shot on target, 1 of 3. To rile the fans up a bit, create some hype, some momentum. Because after that shot, we actually did go for it quite hard. We did pressure them more. But Sergio, I'm in the same situation as you. As in, I think defensively, today, he put in more work. He was more solid in that way. And in his ability to switch play, be it from, starting in the right position and giving it long to the left or vice versa. He also did that pretty fine, but just there wasn't a ball directly going forward, if that makes sense. No real through ball, no real direct offensive action that he took.
Things that we were expecting from Oliveira to do.
Exactly. He just wasn't really up front. Present up front, which I find really strange, again, because we were having the ball that much. And yes, Kasımpaşa were playing really compact with 9 in the back and having like Koita up front, basically waiting for some type of long ball. But it was just a weird match for him. Overall, I would still consider it being below average. I think he could contribute a lot more, especially because, to me, I don't rate Oliveira for his defensive work or like his defensive qualities. I rate him more for his offensive qualities. And today it was vice versa, which is just really odd and bizarre to me. Right? I mean...
So just to add on to that, I understand this might be a controversial discussion because I've read, similar to what Emre said, starting off, he said, I don't know if it was a good or a bad or average performance. It was a confusing because Sergio is a player that you expect to put in an excellent attacking performance, shots, crosses, through balls. And what he's weak at, or normally known to be weak at, is his defensive performances, getting back, helping out, making challenges, winning the ball back. Today, I thought he did a pretty damn good job in getting back, at least compared to his average self that we've seen so far this season. But I wanted and expected a little bit more of a performance in our attack. I thought he did an excellent job switching the ball today, many, many times. His the way that he would take the ball from the right back corner of the field and switch it to the top left corner was insane. Those passes were lasers.
His passes to Bowie.
They were like perfect sometimes, and that's great. That's great, but when a team like Kasimpasa is laying back and inviting you to attack them, naturally, your striker and your wingers and your utmost attacking midfielder, whether that's, Yunus, Mata, or Rachica, they all alternate in that position. They're going to have the most pressure and the least space to move. Who's going to have the most time is going to be your deeper midfielders. That's Torreira, and that's going to be Sergio. Obviously, you're going to have your backs with more space too because they're a little bit deeper and on the wings. But, that's when Sergio can kind of shine, and he has an excellent shot. We all know this, right? I would expect him to take a little bit more shots today. I would expect him to find those through balls over the defender's head, who Icardi's always making runs. Our wingers are always making runs, but I didn't really see that. The long balls he played was good, but they were balls played under little pressure and a lot of time and a lot of space. So I expected if that's his strength, he'll do a good job in it, but
it didn't lead to anything.
It didn't really lead to much because you play the ball across and then the defenders shift, and then, you're supposed to get into the empty space, but you're all the way in the back making the long ball across, and, it's where are we now? We're just on the other side of the field now. So I expected more movement, and that's not just on Sergio either. This is as a result of not having Mertens. We just talked about his importance. I think that created more responsibility for Sergio in a way too. So I understand he didn't have his best performance, but I still expected better. And some of his free kicks were just awful. I mean, positions where you think, okay, Sergio is going to whip in a nice cross, and we have Icardi, we have, Abdulkarim, we have Nelson that are aerial threats. These balls are nowhere near them. The only one threat that he had from a free kick was a bullet towards the end of the game that went right past everybody and then to the side. That's the only one that looked kind of threatening. But even then, I expected either a better shot on target or a cross that our player can actually get onto. So I don't know. Statistically, I believe he did well. I think his rating was pretty good today. I don't want anybody to misunderstand us, and I get it if you think he had a great game, but I think he's played better in the past, and I'll stick to that thought. I thought he could have played better.
It's Sergio is a weird character, man. It's either he does really well attacking and really like dog water in defense, and now vice versa. Now maybe if instead of Cedric Inan, it was his old manager Julien Lopetegui, in managing, maybe he would have played even better. Try to prove a point. And for those who don't know, his old manager Julien is responsible for leaving him in the stands, and there is where he met his current wife. So there's some like bad blood there.
Yeah.
But yeah, you guys put
No, go ahead. What were you gonna
Sergio.
say? Go ahead.
Oh wait, you go first, Emre.
If you guys have more to add about Sergio Oliveira, go ahead.
I only wanted to say on the stats thing. The thing, of course, of stats, which makes it sometimes hard because, like Yasin mentioned, if you weren't able to watch the game and you just check, I don't know, FotMob, SofaScore, those types of apps, his rating is pretty damn high, actually. It's the highest in the team, if I may say so, with an 8.2.
Undeserved.
The problem, however, of course, is, stats, they just add metrics. They don't really take into account what his role is supposed to be. If they just see, oh, he does, I don't know, X amount of tackles. Oh, that's good. Even though that's maybe not his job. If he did do it, his rating will be a bit inflated. And the thing that we just want Sergio for in this game particularly, because it only ended 1-0, is just some end product. And it wasn't there. So therefore, it's like Emre just said, a bit unjustified.
There was no end product from him, nor was there any end product from Icardi today. I was kind of surprised with his performance today. Not that he's a terrible player. No, obviously not. Like, he still played really well for his position, but it's not the same Icardi that we're used to, right? Who gets those, like, he usually gets like one chance and he'll just like score that, like, by any means. But today, Kerem gave him like 2 good opportunities to score. In the corners that Kerem has gotten great at passing. I don't know what the hell happened to him, but he started like lasering these passes onto Icardi. Like, they're like magnetized to each other somehow, some way these days.
Low balls, yeah.
It's just like
the field.
as soon as Kerem gets the ball, he's like automatically locks on Icardi like a guidance missile. Like, he's just constantly thinking of Icardi. I don't know what's going on. He's like trying to pay some depth or something. This like Icardi have him by the balls. Like, you got to make me score, bud. But Kerem is just constantly trying to find Icardi, and he did. God saw it today. Everyone saw. Kerem played really well first half. Got to give it to him. But Icardi, man. I
did see with Icardi. It's reminded me of when we had Falcao, when he did play, actually. Occasionally, he did come pretty damn deep to receive the ball. Like, realizing he didn't get any service. I did see Icardi dropping down, like, really deep into the midfield to actually, like, get a ball to, like, a 1-2 quickly, or, like, lay it off again. That wasn't a good sign. Of course, they're playing really deep, and it's hard for him to receive a ball. But hopefully he can stay a bit higher up, that we are able to create the chances for him, so he can do more.
Yeah,
everyone has off days, right, Yasin?
Yeah,
of course.
That's a good point, Salih. He dropped in the midfield, and that actually didn't happen until he realized Mata is kind of useless in that role, and maybe that was because of injury or whatever it is. But Icardi realized that he's not getting fed, and he started dropping in. And I don't want to create excuses, but maybe that's why he was not in the same form. He he had to take on different responsibilities and he was just not
Felt
prepared.
frustrated, probably.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Icardi's proven himself to us many times where, he's human after all, right? He's going to have games where he doesn't finish the chances he gets. But what's important is he makes the runs to get into the positions that he does get into. Because if he continues to do that consistently, then it's on to the rest of the guys to feed him. And we did that. So he might have not finished today, but that doesn't mean he's not going to finish tomorrow. And, we can't discredit him completely. There was one corner kick Kenem had where Icardi headed it beautifully to the top left corner and their goalie just pulled an insane save. Like,
of course.
That's a goal 9 out of 10 times. Like, the goalie just happened to be in a good spot positioning wise. He had good reflexes and he just sensed that ball going in that direction. Not going to discredit the goalie. That was legit an amazing save. Like, I was in awe after that. But that header, incredible. Like, that's a goal most of the time. So Icardi still did his job pretty good, and his runs were pretty good. He had one run that he had, Kenan fed him, and then they called him offsides. That was actually onside. So again, a perfect run. Maybe could have finished it a bit better, but he's doing most of his job pretty good. So no complaints. He'll get it next time.
Gunai had a great game.
Who? What?
Gunai, the keeper for Kasımpaşa.
Yeah.
We were actually rumored with him, but you know, Muslera came back quickly, man.
Yeah, they were,
and so we didn't.
Yeah, they were saying.
If anyone wants to touch up on that,
yeah, they were saying that we were interested in him because he was at Gaziantep before, and obviously because of the earthquake, his team pulled out of the league. He was an available player, and we were interested to bring him as a backup to Muslera because I guess we were not perfectly satisfied with Okan's performance. But we saw that Muslera is coming back sooner than anticipated. And apparently he wanted to go somewhere where he's going to play consistently. And that makes sense. I would do the same thing in this position. My team just pulled out of the league. I want to prove myself and make sure that I have a job at the end of this season. What better way to do that than go to a team and play consistently, especially as a goalie where you either play or you don't. So I respect the decision, and hey, it kind of worked out for both parties. He's performing well, and Muslera's back. And we still scored against him. We got our 3 points. Now we don't have to worry about it. Now it's good that our rivals might have to worry about playing against him. So, we did our job and we move on.
Exactly. So, we mentioned most people, the good and the okay and the bad. But let's talk about the person who really deserved the highest score on SofaScore and FotMob. Nicolo Zaniolo, first official game. This kid comes in and he turns the game around and scores his debut goal against Kasımpaşa. So I'm extremely happy that this, first off, kudos to the unit team. Who would have thought that seeing this stacked team, as stacked as it was, they would go and pull a nuke like this? This is just, you guys ever seen those mafia movies where people send messages? They'll send pig heads to rivals. This is us. Like, yo, look at this. You don't have a chance. We got this. Who'd you get? You got nobody. We got Zaniolo. Not because we needed him, because we can. We can. And look, we're getting the fruits of our labor right now. So, what do you guys think? Saleh, what do you think?
That's when you know when you're doing good. When you're adding to your already beefed up squad. Zaniolo, we already were actually good on the wings, right? We had more than enough wingers, but adding another very quality winger onto that's just kudos, man, to the board, to the unit team, to everyone who's involved. I before the match started or when he came on, I remember the memes that we had around the crook man, about Dursun Özbek, how he's a crook, we can't trust the fraud, he'll bring us into ruins. But I don't know, man. I to me, it doesn't even feel real for some strange reason that this is us. Like, if you think about it,
we're playing FM
right?
or something, bro.
But truly, if you think about it, last year, our first transfers, right, of the summer, who were those? Alpaslan, Aytaç Kara, who came on
as a
afterwards.
sub.
Exactly. as a sub for Kasımpaşa, for all those players that we had last year, for all those fees, and now we suddenly have this monstrous team. Her neyse,
Bro,
that's like...
Bro, we had Taylan Antalyalı, and apparently Pep Guardiola rated him,
should have
according
bought
to
him.
Dominic Torrent.
Should have bought him.
Yeah, exactly. Now he's, missed out. Now he's playing, for Ankaragücü at the bottom of the table. Your loss, Pep. Could have had him.
But yeah, Zaniolo, the first thing is when the half was about to start, you were already seeing him like in his kit and everything. So you know what was going to happen, right? And deep down, I think most of us hoped it would be for Yunus because he was having the worst game out of the bunch. And he came on, man, and what can I say? Of course, this isn't him at his 100%. He also hasn't played in quite some time, of course. He suffered from apparently some depression and whatnot, but he just looked hungry, like so up to it.
Yeah.
And as a profile, he's still such a like weird player. He's really tall. He's not skinny at all. He's still fast. He can dribble well. And
He's strong.
He's strong. And the only thing I can do right now is just think of what's going to happen in the next few games once we start meshing. Because in the game, what I did notice, besides the beautiful finish that he had, is he was running like in between the central areas in the right wing and also pointing quite a lot like, hey, I want the ball over here or pass to me. It didn't always happen. So when the chemistry does hit, I can't wait for those moments because then he'll be fully unlocked. And
yeah,
I think us winning the league is already kind of guaranteed at this point.
No, don't.
I wouldn't say guaranteed.
Okay, I jinxed it.
Let's not say
Okay,
it.
okay. I didn't say it.
You didn't
I'll
jinx
take
it,
back.
but let's remain humble. As we saw today, games where we think might be easy wins are sometimes the opposite. We could have easily lost points today. But Zaniolo, if you don't mind, I'd like to talk a little bit about him. First game, first goal, first win, and the beauty behind it. As much as this game sucked to watch and it was stressful, there's a beautiful aspect to a 1-0 win and that one goal coming from Zaniolo. Some people were saying, Zaniolo, what is it like? Is he needed? Why are you spending 15-20 million when you already have all these other players? You can spend that money on Icardi, this, that. This is why you spend money, because he's going to come on and make a difference. When Icardi can't, when Mertens is not there, when Sergio is not playing, scoring goals, Kerem's been excellent, by the way, in the friendlies. When he's not scoring, you're going to have a guy like Zaniolo come on and score. And he did that in the friendlies. He came on as a sub and he scored. He came on as a sub and he scored. He came on as a sub again today and he scored and won us a game. And you guys really made good points on it being early. I'm just thinking like Mertens is going to join this team. They have that Italian language connection, Hell, I consider just the way I said Schneider is basically Turkish. Mertens is basically Italian. He's played there almost all of his career. Italy loves him. He loves Italy, and especially Napoli. But they have that connection, and I'm sure Mertens was a decisive factor in him coming here as well. But he's gonna learn how to play with Icardi. He's gonna learn to play his role in that right wing or wherever Okan Hoca ends up putting him. And I just love the fact that he's hungry to receive the ball. He's here to prove something. And you saw that in his performance today. He demanded the ball all the time in the midfield. When he was out in the midfield, he made runs and he demanded the ball there. When he did get the ball on the right side, he wasn't always selfish about it. He kind of waited to see who was coming in. He would play it safe and play it back. I think it's just, positive vibes from here, positive performances from here. I think something that he does need to be careful about. I think we should be honest in his performance. I think, sometimes I saw him try and dribble maybe a little bit too much. I think that was a criticism that Roma fans had before when he was at Roma. He might try and dribble more than needed. His very first possession with the ball, he tried to nutmeg a player when he could have just played a simple pass. But that's okay. The kid is here. He's still kind of young. Man, I'm excited. There's a lot to say, but I'd rather leave him and his performances to do the talking. I don't want to jinx him. Nazar değmesin. Hopefully he stays healthy. But what a way to start your career at Galatasaray. I don't know how long it's going to be. I don't know how long he's going to stay here, but he's already started with a huge impact.
Man is here for one long training session, I'm telling you. I don't think we keep him for next season. And the confidence this kid has, the goal he scored, he dribbled between 3 players, man. Left it off to Rashica, and Rashica assisted him. And I was thinking at the goal, he could have passed to Icardi. Icardi was in a good position to score if he would have laid it off to him. But the confidence this kid has, he's like, no, it's my debut. I'm scoring, and I'm going to make my debut, matter. And yeah,
man,
that's the thing. That's the thing about the goal, right? He created that pretty much completely
out of thin air.
Out of thin air.
Yeah,
there was no reason for him to do that and to create that, and he just did. It just shows his quality again, and why he'll be a wonderful asset to this already monster of a team.
Yeah,
but, go ahead, Yasin.
He had the balls to take that ball and go straight at the defenders. I think that's kind of part of the reason why he scored too. Not only did he have the confidence to do that, I think it also caught Kasimpasa off guard in a way. He got the ball, and before him, not a lot of our players were taking the ball and dribbling straight at Kasimpasa players and trying to challenge them. I think they got caught off guard because he got the ball. He did a soft dribble or two, and then he just took off like a rocket with the ball dribbling. And then all of a sudden, the Kasimpasa players were distraught. They're like, wait, what? He beat
They're all trying to slide and stuff.
They got confused. Three of them jumped onto him. He released it to Rashica, and Rashica, hey, did we just find a backup number 10 to Mertens? I don't know. I think we should, and I kind of keep that in the back of our minds. But Rashica did a great job of kind of dribbling left a little bit, but keeping Zaniolo and his mind on the right. And at the perfect time with the perfect ball, laid it off. And just the way Zaniolo kind of winded up for that shot, it's you knew it was going to go in. At that point, you can have Neuer, you can have Muslera in net. Just the way he wound up for that shot, it's okay, this is a goal. And he was excited when he scored. He had the whole tongue out. He was ecstatic. And I think he kind of ran over to his brother after, gave a hug in the stands. I'm sure that was a huge weight off his shoulders, given all the drama that's been going on for the last couple of months.
Yeah, man. I don't know. This kid, the ball's on him. I'm happy. I'm really happy that he's here. And I think we have to give kudos to Okan Buruk and the unit team. But
classic.
sheesh, bringing someone like Zaniolo who's making Kasımpaşa defense look like PTT 1 League defenders, it's a different level of vision. And Okan Buruk broke the league record for most consecutive wins at 14, surpassing Beşiktaş's record. So again, kudos to you, Hocam. I always believed in you. I love you. And keep it going. And so Okan Buruk has this next game where he has to play without Nelson. Boys, let's touch up on a little bit of the next game. I think we covered Kasımpaşa pretty well in that we might have missed a couple players like Bowie and whatnot, who's I can't even talk about Bowie without regurgitating the same thing as I always do. So it's Bowie, you're awesome. Nice haircut, by the way.
Yeah.
Yep, there you go. But we don't have Nelson for the next game, lads. What do you think about the next game? Whether that, is predictions, score lines, lineups, you name it. All right, let's start off with Salih.
With me, okay. Well, first of all, Nelson won't be here. Therefore, I think Samet's favorite player will be starting, which is Emin Bayram. He'll have to step up, basically. I don't see anyone else really.
Really?
I mean, could be Kaan Ayhan. Could be.
That's what I was thinking.
That's a good point, actually. I didn't even think about that.
Could also be, but then again, he hasn't really played for us yet. But
who?
Kaan Ayhan.
Kaan
Ayhan.
He played midfield.
One sub, right?
Midfield, yeah, that's true.
Aynen. Then again, now that you say that, I don't know. I still expect Emin Bayram for some reason to start. He has started before, therefore, why not continue? But the game against Konya, so from what I remember, they have a new coach. I think he was like a Slavic one, Serbian or Bosnian.
Doesn't matter.
And
he hasn't been good.
Matter,
he hasn't been good.
Exactly, that's the thing. They haven't been good. As far as I know, since he's been appointed, they haven't won a game. Therefore, Konya facing the most informed team in the league should lead to us basically winning at their ground. And I expect like a 2-0 win, basically. I don't see a reason for Konya to suddenly surprise us unless, it's the classic bad luck that we have. But I just seeing rolling over them, basically. That's how I see it.
Yasin, a lot of people on social media, especially, the birds, are chirping yet again, saying how we didn't deserve the 14th consecutive win. What did I say last time we were on pod? I said that no one would accept it because of the, game that we didn't play. And so we said if Kasimpasa was the game we won, we would consider that 13 games, right? And so it would be equal. So what do you think it would take for us to win against Konya to get that 15th, but in reality, the 14th consecutive win to, put the matter to bed?
Yeah, man. I think it's a win next week, to put it simply. Agree with Salih here, except I think we're going to score more than 2 goals. And, Konyaspor is under a lot of pressure. Their coach is under a lot of pressure. I'll be honest, I'm not watching Konyaspor. I haven't watched Konyaspor. There's no need for me to watch Konyaspor unless they're playing against Galatasaray. But their stats, their recent performances, their standing in the table kind of explains a lot of what's going on. They got rid of a coach when they probably shouldn't have gotten rid of a coach. So there's a lot of chaos going on over there. And, something I mentioned earlier in the podcast today it was a good test. It was a good learning lesson. And something we've mentioned many times before was Okan Hoca learns from his mistakes or just experience. He values experiences and takes advantage of them and uses them for his benefit going forward. Today was a good experience for him. And I think that leads us to discuss the lineup, because I think that's going to be part of the reason why we win next week. We're going to take the lineup we had today and we're going to make tweaks to it based on where we went wrong. And one of those tweaks is going to be left back, I think. Now that we just spoke about the center back position, probably Emin Bayram or Kaan Ayhan, but either way, they're both Turkish. And their partner is going to be Turkish. So that's 2 Turks right there, right? Abdülkerim and either Kaan Ayhan or Emin Bayram. And then you have Kerem, who I think is a guaranteed starter. I think 99% of people can agree on that, unless he gets injured, God forbid. But he's starting next week too. That's 3 Turks right there. That means now you can afford every other position to be a Yabancı player, including your left back. You do not need to play Sam next week, Hoca. I'm not telling you to not play him. I know you're not going to play him, and I'm going to assume you're not going to play him. Leo Dubois is going to make a huge difference in our attack next week. We'll see that. And then you're going to have Zaniolo, hopefully in better, shape, better stamina. He did a good job today. I wouldn't be completely surprised if he still doesn't start next week. Maybe he's going to come on as a sub, but I'll be more confident to say Rashica will start next week instead. So that, again, will make a big difference. And Konyaspor, I doubt, are going to play sitting back the way that Kasimpasa did. And we have a great away record too. We almost... some games where we think we're gonna be very easy at home become the difficult games, and the away games that we think are gonna be more difficult become easier for us. That's been kind of the the trend so far this season, and I think that's gonna continue. I'm pretty confident in a win next week. And just a heads up to everybody, the game is Friday, so don't miss it because you think it's the weekend.
Yeah. I agree with you guys.
What do you think of Konya?
Look, I'm not going to give any score predictions, but they don't have Ilhan Polat, who always gives us, a rough time. But they haven't gone against the Galatasaray that's in form. Maybe not this game, but a Galatasaray that still manages to win despite the odds. Because let's face it, they have the quality, they have the players, they have the mentality. Every other team is breaking down slowly, whereas we're staying on our feet, and you can see how motivated our team is with the celebrations, of the team at the end of the game. You've seen everybody, Icardi going to Zaniolo and like celebrating, being happy for him. So this team is giving me a lot of hope. I hope we can secure that 15th win, put everything to rest. And I'm hoping we win. And yeah, I guess with that said, we can wrap up. It's been a great talk, lads. And thank you for everyone, that stood by till now, listen to us. You guys are awesome as always. Please don't forget, to like and subscribe, to our podcast. If you have any questions, anything at all, you can always reach us at The Lions Den GS on Instagram and Twitter. We have a Discord. If you guys want to be invited to that, you could always hit us up. And yeah, take care. And we'll see you on the next one. Peace.
See you
out.
guys.
Bye.